Expo open. So may I request you, sir, just to say that I declare this Odisha State MSME Virtual Expo open. Please, sir.
I declare the Odisha MSME Expo, Virtual Expo 2022 open.
Thank you very much, sir. We are very, very eager to hear your words, sir. So may I request you to address the gathering, sir.
Thank you so much, Sushma ji and Sri Srivastav ji, Mr. Gupta, Mr. Vinod Kumar. Thank you so much for inviting me here. So it's indeed a privilege for me. This is one sector which has been very close to my heart, as it should be for the entire India as well, for economists and public policy practitioners. Because if there is a sector which is contributing 30% to the GDP, then it is really an important sector. Bothering us for such a long time. If it is inequity, that is wealth or income, both inequities which is bothering us for a long time, then it is again this sector, the MSME sector, that we have to look up to. So it's no gainsaying that this is assumed importance in the current times. The government any government which has been there, they have tried to bring in a dynamic policy shifts requiring, or in tandem with the requirement of the times, so as to make this sector grow. Now, as far as the potential is concerned, potential for contribution, increasing its contribution to the GDP is enormous. Its potential as far as increasing its, people who are in the MSME sector, to increase it from 11 crores out of 134 crores, I think there is enormous potential. If it is 40% of exports, if you look at the Niti Aayog reports, you would be surprised to know that the contribution of the MSME sector goods in the entire basket of export goods which is there in the world is still minuscule. So again, there is a lot of potential. So there are lots of potential which is there for us to unlock by appropriate public policy, appropriate implementation of those policies, which is very, very important. As you know, India is not great at implementation. We may have very well designed policies, and that is why I think these the role of the department is well laid out. Organizations like you, that is the India SME Forum, or several or any other kind of institutional structures available, they have a very, very significant role to play. And of course, the other stakeholders who are involved in this, may it be the banks, may it be the big companies who are sourcing from the MSMEs, everybody has an important role to play. They must realize that the driver of growth in India would be the MSMEs. And currently, approximately 99% of our industry are in this sector after the revised norms for qualification to be called as an MSME. And therefore, our concentration has to be both in policy space as well as in implementation space, as well as in creating the right kind of narrative, has to be in the MSME space. Now, the point is, I know Mr. Srivastava would be aware, the Standing Committee on Finance, which is of which I am a member for the last 4 years, we have been grappling with this issue for the last 3 years. And we are still currently working on getting a paper out or getting a report out, which will be placed in the parliament, relating to how to revive the MSME sector, or let's say how to energize the MSME sector. That would be the appropriate word. The MSME secretary, Mr. Swine, has been coming. He has many times over. We have called banks. We have called all the stakeholders. We have called the GST commissioners. We have called, and the process is on. I can assure you that we are doing an extremely serious job. The UK Sena committee report, we are going through it. We are going through all kinds of, we have invited participation from the MSME, these federations or organizations from different states. I remember people from Karnataka had come, people from Jharkhand had come, and we also did recognize that the NBFCs have a significant role to play because a lot of credit is coming through them, even though they are not getting credit. So we have called them also. So you will see that in a short while from now, a report will be given to the Parliament, which should actually be giving a clear direction for energizing this sector to all the departments of government. We have the mandate. We are seriously working on it, and it has been bipartisan because all political parties' representatives are in this committee. I must say that what has been the most worrying fact for all of us, is the fact that still only 23% of the MSMEs are in the formal credit channel. That's the most worrying aspect, and that should bother the Ministry of MSME as well. We are not happy when we say that out of 6,000 complaints that had been received, 5,900 had been redressed by just saying that they had been referred to the consent bank. It is not a redressal. The redressal will happen when they actually get the credit. We are very clear on these. We have got all this data all the time, and I don't know, I may have spoken. If I get a chance again, I'll be speaking in the Parliament on this. So the most important thing now for all of is to get all the people who are in the MSME sector onto the portal, onto the portal. We have to get them registered. So that is the most important thing. Now imagine all the data which has been given by Mr. Srivastav. How does it make a difference if it only affects 23% of the MSMEs? Even if you are having the collateral-free loan, emergency credit guarantee line is a very good thing, but it is a temporary measure. Please remember, this is a temporary measure. It's not going to, it will only solve the problem of the MSMEs to a limited extent. It is not going to be a sustainable solution. The fund of funds, all the schemes, brilliant schemes, but when it's addressing only 23% of the MSMEs, what's the use of these schemes? And I think I had written about this in the newspaper. I had written a letter to the Prime Minister on this, because this is where we have to concentrate. Now, after getting the registration of the people, then comes the factors of production. Of course, that is, the land is not a major issue here. Most of the states have, solved this issue significantly, because it's only the big industries which face this problem. The biggest problem is the capital. One is the capital to start. Another is the working capital. And there again, despite all, I'm being very, very, truthful and about this, that what we have heard across the spectrum, across the MSME sector in different states, is the fact that formal banking channels are not lending without collaterals, despite all the schemes that we have. Now, this is something that we are seriously addressing in the Standing Committee on Finance. We have called the banks, we have called the MSME associations, we have called some MSMEs themselves, and we have also called MSMEs to understand, and the banks to understand, that it is very important not to give credit. It is very important to give credit timely and to adequate quantity. If you do not give timely credit, and if you do not give of the requisite amount, it actually serves no purpose. And the MSMEs which are working in a very thin margin, they don't really gain much from this kind of exercise. So this is something, timely and affordable credit, which is a thumb rule for any industry, but it's more so for the MSME sector. We are aware of it. We are working on it. Our report will contain this. Then the other aspect is, we heard significant number of complaints relating to GST. So, and unfortunately, I think this is something which the MSME department should have been working on. But our report would contain that, because we have called the GST commissioner, because with the Standing Committee on Finance, which automatically all the Ministry of Revenue reports to us, or comes before us. So we are having these consultations. We would be able to give you some solutions. The trades, a lot of things have happened, but I think this convergence is lacking. Some minor tweaks here and there could actually solve the problem. So hopefully, when the report finally comes out, you will have something which would actually benefit all of us. By saying all these things, I am in no way demeaning the activities which is being currently carried out by the MSME department or by the GST, or everybody has a soul and heart for the MSME sector. Let me tell you with this very clearly across the party lines. But the problem is, I think someone has to apply their mind in a holistic manner, with a kind of a whole of government approach, and that's what we have adopted. So you can look forward to this report. We should be able through this report in another 6 months' time. That's what I foresee. I would talk about Odisha, to say that as far as Odisha is concerned, as you are aware, as Madam talked about, Susmaji talked about, we have 7 lakh SHGs, women SHGs, and that is 70 lakh women. Now, these 7 lakh women, they have been supported by the government. We have given an assurance in our manifesto, and we are actually implementing that. We have already given them work to the extent of 3,000 crores, and our target is to give them 5,000 crores by 2024. Now, there are 2 possibilities here. First, that since they have understood the entrepreneurial landscape ecosystem, it is at this stage that we have to, both the MSME department, ministry, and the state MSME department, as well as all of you, should actually handhold them to go to the next level, register them first, go to the next level, and infuse technology. When I go to the field, a number of times, young girls, they said, we are no more interested in doing the silai and all kind of stuff. We want to graduate to a next level. So let's do that. This is the time, opportune time, to get technology in over there, and they can actually do much better, and contribute more significantly to the state's economy. And this is easy, low-hanging fruit, because the list of women SHGs is available in Odisha. Just as in Kerala, it's a big revolution, the Kudumsri. So I think the women and our labor force participation of women is one of the lowest even in Southeast Asia. So we'll be doing a yeoman service if we can get even women entrepreneurs into this system, handhold them to go to the next level for those who are already at some level, and get more people into the system by showing the success of this. I fully agree that every district we should have at least 10 successful women entrepreneur SHGs, SHG-based systems, who are using it from low to medium kind of technology to do better than what they were doing earlier. And I think that is where we would have made a significant contribution, all of us together, to this MSME, growth of MSME in our country. The second point which I wanted to speak is relating to some of the great initiatives which has been done by Finance Minister by, on the bank guarantees. You don't have to do it actually by depositing that money, which was happening earlier. But another thing which is important, that any new entrepreneur who is entering into the public procurement system obviously can't comply with the eligibility conditions. So, these are small things, but they're very important. So the entire process re-engineering which is required is something which we all have to work on, particularly the MSME department, because they are the nodal department for issuing guidelines for others to follow. The finance ministry, we were deliberate. In fact, there is a parliamentary standing committee on industry, which could actually have taken up this particular thing. But we deliberately did it from the finance point of view, because we realized that credit was the big problem. And the other aspect was getting the trade receivables. And there are a lot of government is aware of it. They're doing quite a bit on it. The trade receivable aspect, as far as the PSUs are concerned, we in the Ministry of Finance, in the Standing Committee on Finance, since again the Department of Public Enterprises has come under this standing committee, we will be attacking this issue. But the private sector also has to play its role. a huge amount of unnecessary credit time is taken by the private sector. So we have to do something about it, because besides the fact that they have a significant role to play in the economy, they must also realize that if the forward and the backward linkages don't work out, they don't eventually grow. So I would in fact suggest, this is just a thought which has come to me now, that we would in the finance committee may also invite some private sector. We will. I don't know whether the MSME department has a list of private sector, pending bills from the private sector companies of the MSMEs. If we have some kind of a figure like this, then the finance committee, I would suggest to the finance committee to even invite some of those private sector to understand why they are not clearing those bills. These are the two important issues. Of course, there are other issues. Many things can be done for increasing, boosting exports. Many things can be done for getting into new areas, niche areas. Many things could be done for market segmentation and finding out the actual segment where they should operate. You see, we have to understand that market is ruthless. Market always tries to discover the lowest price and the most economically efficient price. We can handhold a particular sector till certain period of time, but that's not sustainable. So we have to build their capacities as well through these training programs that you have been organizing, to come to a level where they can deal with the market themselves. I know it's tough, but we have to eventually do that. And lastly, I would request again to look at these some sector-specific, areas where the MSMEs could be promoted. In the particularly, 94% of are in the small sector. So in the Northeast or in every state, where which are labor intensive, but they can actually increase livelihood. Now, let me give you an example. I still feel, and I've been working on it, I've taken a number of MPs with me, to say that the handloom and handicraft sector in India has a lot of potential. It employs the largest number of people after agriculture. Whenever I go abroad, I think people are asking about, particularly not only the diaspora, but people of foreign origin are asking about our, handloom and handicrafts. I have made a statement in Parliament to say that handloom and handicrafts are not only a part of our cultural tradition, they are a part of our spiritual wealth. You go to any temple in India, you would find the Devi or the God would be, the embellishment would be handloom or handicrafts. It will not be something which is powerloom based. So we are working quite a bit on it, but you could think about this. Let's say the Katak, the filigree work, which is unique in the world. But what is the export? It is only word of mouth by Oriya origin people. But I know that if it's a kind of miniature which is not seen anywhere in the world. So export market is something which we really have to explore, and I'm convinced that it is only when that happens. And Niti Aayog's Amitabh Kant is also with me on this, that huge potential of exports that we have, and unless we do that, remunerative prices will not go to the original weavers or the artisans, and then they will leave this particular trade. We'll lose our culture, we'll lose our tradition. This is where I think I would suggest the SME forum could work on, the MSME ministry could work on. The other sector which I thought was technology, it is already happening. The unicorns that we have at 66 unicorns, I think, and it is just growing. They are doing tremendously well. It is they who are actually driving the youth, power, a kind of youth power to the economy. But I still feel that the last mile in delivery of any of the public services can still be done. There is a space there, service delivery, which can be done by the small entrepreneurs in the villages in the rural India. If you think about a banking mitra, I still feel that a community influencer or an organization of women SHGs who could actually do the financial inclusion much better than a banking mitra. Similar such kind of products you should think about. Ideation is the call of the time. Ideation is the need of the hour. And this ideation has to come from all of us. It is not the MSME ministry alone which can give these ideas. It is you people who have to come with this. It is we who have to give these ideas. And therefore, I always say that there should be a portal where people actually post ideas. And then you select which one you would actually take it forward. It is just something like a regulatory sandbox. again, it is in this context that I must mention that regulatory sandboxes, innovation sandboxes are being created everywhere. We have asked them to do it in RBI, we have asked them to do it in SEBI, we are asking everyone to do it. And if you insist on that, then these new entrepreneurs would get the confidence to not be grappling with compliance to laws, but will see that the product comes up and see how it succeeds, and then scale it up, and then follow the laws, of course. This is the method which is followed in many countries of the world. We will be mentioning this in our report too. I think I have taken more time than what is required. However, I would like to end by saying that this is something which the Odisha unit should be working on. I had a word with this chairman of SIDBI had spoken to me the other day, and they are giving a credit line of about 800 crores for training entrepreneurs in the small sector. And this is something that we must leverage. Convergence is something which is lacking. I've already written a letter to the chief secretary and have talked to him. I've talked to the chairman. I think this is something we should work on. I'm sure it is happening in the other states as well. So this convergence has to take place. The MSME cannot and should not be remaining as a poor cousin of the big industries. It has the potential. It has already taken off, and let us take it forward and make it bigger. I am with you on any of these enterprises or any kind of efforts that you want, endeavors that you want to undertake in this regard. I will do my best to support you in this. Please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much, sir. That was really, very, really nice. A lot of encouragement from you. And, knowing the subject, I mean, I think I don't want to talk after you, but, we are completely overwhelmed with the fact that, you are actually speaking our language, what we've been trying to speak for the last 7, 8 years. So I think we will go get offline, sir, and we will share with you more stuff. Last time you had written to the Prime Minister, you quoted our survey and both also in your newspaper article. We will continue to share a lot more stuff, sir. And we are extremely thankful for your leadership and your encouragement. And I'm very sure I've written all the points. We'll get back to you on each of these points, because I think we've done work on most of these, and it's completely in line with what you have said, sir. Thank you very much. Sushma ji, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Honorable sir, we are extremely grateful and we are very, very overwhelmed and touched by your words, the direction that you have given. Of course, at India SME Forum, we are already working on these pointers, and offline we will share a lot of reports and details on what we have been doing with the support of Ministry of MSME. And of course, a lot of contribution from our members, because we have a few successful entrepreneurs as as a part of our task force, and they continue to contribute on what kind of sectoral issues, challenges, and what solutions, because that's the best way that we learn them, and makers and the regulatory framework in what kind of ecosystem needs to be built for MSMEs to flourish. So once again, sir, I take this opportunity to thank our chief guest, Dr. Amar Patnaik, Member of Parliament in Rajya Sabha from the state of Odisha. Our guest of honor, Shri D.P. Srivastava, Deputy Director General, Ministry of MSME, Government of India. Our partners and associates of this initiative, Shri P.K. Gupta, Joint Director and Head of Office, MSME DI Cuttack, our President, Shri Vinod Kumar, and all our members from the state of Odisha and viewers who have tuned in today for this inaugural ceremony. Thank you very much for your time. And I would like to invite all the entrepreneurs, visitors, buyers, to please go on to indiasmeforum.org/Odisha. The address is right here on the screen. You are welcome. You are invited to visit our enterprises from the state of Odisha, collaborate, partner, and interact, and do business. I mean, it's very important that we become partners, we learn from each other, and flourish. So, with that, I wish all of you a very, very happy Holi, very colorful and peaceful Holi. Honorable Sir, wish you a very happy Holi too. Shrivastava Sir and Gupta Sir, to you too. Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And I
Thank you.
also wish you, I also reciprocate and wish you a very, very happy Holi.
Thank you.
Let it be
Thank you
Holi
very-
times for the entire Indian
Thank you,
MSME.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Patnaik
Thank
sir.
you very
Thank you,
much, sir.
Professor.
Thank you so much.